So I took so many photos around Tahoe and like up in the mountains. And I mean, I've taken a lot in the desert, obviously, and I want to get out more places and take more shots. But I started to think about like what it is I'm actually looking for. And it's interesting because like, obviously, like anytime you go to these places, right? Like you go to Lake Tahoe or wherever, on the way or while you're there, you're going to see the scenic pullouts, right? Like, this is the great spot, so pull over here for the good picture or whatever. And while I was at Tahoe, at one of those spots, I saw a girl who had like climbed down a bunch of rocks and was taking a photo with Lake Tahoe as the backdrop, you know, for her Instagram or whatever. And it was a cool shot. It was dangerous, but it was a cool shot. But it made me think about like any one of those shots I go to with like at a scenic point or whatever, like there are literally millions of versions of that same exact shot, like just on camera phones and on walls from disposable cameras back in the day and Polar. I mean, there are so many, because a lot of those scenic points have been there forever. And so I started to think about like, and I thought about this before, but it really comes true, like to really truly find something unique, you literally have to like get off the beaten path more than you might think. Like, it's just interesting to me. And this is originally why I thought, well, I might do a lot of camping and take shots. I've been mostly driving, but you know, camping lends itself to actually getting out there. And I need to basically get off the beaten path, go camping, go hiking, and find things that, you know, that other people haven't seen. And this is kind of what my whole idea was for my Patreon that I'm going to make. I was thinking that an interesting idea that I haven't really seen a lot of would be, because I do have two unique skill sets. I'm a decent photographer and I am a good writer. I'm a better writer than I am a photographer, in my opinion anyway. But I was thinking that, you know, there's so many farms and families that have been in America for a long time and they have these stories, many of them immigrants. And I just think it would be interesting to go photograph some of these off the beaten path farms and that have been there for so long and talk to these families about their stories, because that really, you know, America sort of did come from there. The thing I worry about, obviously, is that if I go to certain places of the country where that is prevalent, you know, Donald Trump and his fan base are also prevalent there. So I do worry about that. But I think that, you know, people need their story told. And I think I'm slightly in a unique position to do that because I'm a good writer, I'm a good storyteller, and I'm good with photography. I'm getting better at photography. I'm still not there yet. But I do think that's something I want to do in the future. You know, I've been thinking a lot about that. But it becomes interesting when you consider, like, so I think about, okay, a million other people have been at this scenic point and they've taken pictures. And then you kind of think about what that means over time, like how many people have taken that photo and how the photo is different despite the fact that it was taken from the same location. And that in and of itself is cool, that, you know, if someone goes to a scenic point in the 90s and then I go there now in 2020, it's different. Or, you know, in the 60s or whatever, it's going to be different. And so those things I do want to record. It is cool to see that over time. But I also think what I'm missing in my photography is that I'm sticking to roads. You know, I'm covering a lot of ground and taking a lot of pictures, but I don't know if I'm truly finding the essence of stuff. And the other thing about it is, you know, you see so many things when you're driving. Like, I don't stop and take every good picture I see, because if I did, I would never get anywhere. And a lot of times I take pictures while I'm going somewhere. And so I think I need to truly block out more time for, you know, leaving the beaten path, leaving the freeways, leaving the roads, and really truly finding, like, I mean, I'm sure that, you know, not every shot is going to be unique. Other people have taken photos, but you know, closer to unique, you know, closer to, you know, things other people haven't seen before. Because I do want to, you want to find a few things here and there. I want to experience something that, you know, few people have experienced. And I know that that's more difficult. And so I've just been thinking about how even as I've tried to do this new thing, I've still been limiting myself because I'm not stepping, you know, far outside my comfort zone. And so that's kind of where I'm at right now is finding ways to, you know, to venture out. Now, like, for example, right now it's difficult. It's 114 degrees where I'm driving right now. So there are risks involved with if I, you know, get out there and, you know, I got to be careful. So a lot of this work maybe has to be done in winter, especially around here, not in summer. You know, and again, this is all stuff, I mean, I know how difficult it is in the summer, but, you know, when you stand outside in 120 degree weather and you're taking photos, you kind of think, oh, I'll be fine in just a few minutes, but you don't realize how long you stand there. You don't realize how many photos you want to take and how many different angles. And I've almost passed out a few times just from, you know, being a little foolish about it and just trying to push myself a little too hard. So, you know, these are all things I'm learning. But you know, this whole journey as a photographer just came from my own realization that I love taking photos. Like, I always, for the longest time, I would just stop and take photos with my phone. And I would always, oh, that's so cool, that's so cool. And I never realized how many highlights of, you know, my trips were taking photos. And I never realized how often I wanted to stop and take photos until I really started to think about it. And I mentioned this the last time I did a vlog. Like, you know, I kind of set out to find myself writing, and I ended up coming back finding myself, you know, in photography. And, you know, I think what it all boils down to is ultimately I'm a creator. I'm an artist. That's what I want to be, right? That's where I'm happiest, is when I am creating, whether it's a podcast, whether it's a vlog, whether it's taking photos, whether it's writing a screenplay. I'm happiest when I am creating things. And, you know, I should have organized my life better around it when I was younger, but it doesn't really matter now. Like, you can't go back in time, but what I can do is make my life about that going forward. And that's honestly what I'm doing. You know, I'm trying to make almost everything I do have some form of outlet for my creativity. I'm trying to be productive. And I know that we as a society are really hard on ourselves about productivity. I'm not trying to work myself to the bone, but I'm just trying to accomplish small things every day that make me a better photographer, that make me better at Photoshop, that make me a better podcaster. You know, and I feel like if I take small steps in the right direction each day, you know, no matter what those things may be, little baby steps here and there, you know, it really starts to, I grow. And when I look at the photos that I took, you know, when I was at the park in Colorado and I had just gotten the camera versus what I'm taking now, you know, I do see a real difference. I see I'm doing a better job with my framing, with my angles. I see more what makes a good shot versus what maybe looks cool to the eye but is hard to capture on camera. You know, I in just this month or whatever, month and a half, whatever it's been, I really have gotten way better. And so I know I'm, you know, at least on the right path in terms of being the creative person that I want to be. So, you know, that's what it boils down to. But I've just been thinking a lot, and the one thing I wanted to talk about after Tahoe was just how much I want to get off the beaten path, you know, go up to the summit of something, or, you know, walk out into that desert, or, you know, whatever the case may be. Get on a boat and, you know, get out and sail and find something there. I want to go to the next level. And I think in some ways I'm ready for that. I think I'm still learning my camera and learning all of the functions, and there's a lot to it. So, you know, one thing at a time, one day at a time. But the biggest thing I wanted to talk about, or at least I guess remind myself, or whatever the case may be, is that, you know, this world is huge, and there is so much out there to see, and and that I need to get off of the basic beaten path to see it. I need to go boldly where no man has gone before. I just need to step outside of my comfort zone. And I think my comfort zone is posting things that I create is stepping outside of my comfort zone a little bit, because I'm worried that people won't like it or will trash me or whatever. We all have anxiety. But I think now that I'm more like reliably posting and recording and creating content, it's time to start expanding what that content can really be. And so I'm excited, hopefully over the next couple months, to get out and really find some stuff. And so that is something I hope to bring to this, and hopefully eventually bring to the Patreon as well. So that was just what I wanted to talk about on this vlog. Peace.